Everybody. This is going to be a slightly quieter set. We've just come back from Cork Spring Poetry Festival, and where words blossom into poetry, but for me Cork always blossomed into poetry. It's where I spent my childhood. My dad was a Cork man. I just love the place altogether. I went for an interview when I was 15 to get into a school, and they were trying to make me be at my ease, and they said, "Who are your heroes?" And I said, right away, "My Uncle Michael, my Uncle Sean." And they said, "No, real heroes." And I said, "Yeah, my Uncle Michael, my Uncle Sean." I thought, God. So this is called Singing the River. It's very strange. I have to sing to you for a bit during this. This is for Marie, who said, "Is there going to be no music?" And I said, "Well, I'll do a poem that I actually sing." I sing badly, by the way, but if you listen badly, it'll sort of balance it out. The song is Cork's second national anthem. It's called Carrick Down, which means the Brown Rock. Yep. And the river is mentioned is called the Onabui. That's the Yellow River. I'm mentioned in it. My name is in it. And the river actually flowed down at the end of my uncle's farm. So you have a little boy listening to his uncle sing this song with the real river that's in the song down there, and my name in the song. It was when poetry and music come all around you, and you don't have to step into it. It's already there. And that's the way it is. I was dyslexic when I was small. I got everything from my dad telling me stories, my Uncle Mikey telling me stories. Mikey not only taught me stories and songs, but he used to make up the world. He used to invent it and create it for me. And my Auntie Nellie used to always say, "Will you stop filling the child's head with nonsense? Can't you see he believes everything that you say?" And I did. I thought he was God. I loved the man to bits. So this is called Singing the River. Walking with my uncle was never the ordinary process of perambulation in order to get from point A to point Z. We would sing our way into the field as if to tame it, soothe it with sound. On Carrick Down, the heat was brown, we'd sing to it. Tame it, soothe it with sound. The clouds are dark o'er Arnalee, the grass listening with its 1,000 ears, and the field would swoon and fall down to the river at its border, which, as it happened, was the real-life river of the song, to kiss the slumbering Onabui, as if he had sung it into existence, and we would roll ourselves down over and over until we arrived at its dizzy waters, dangling our toes in pure song. And now, with a quick uncle wink, let's walk home backwards. And backwards home we'd go just for the laugh of it, the yes of it, confusing cows and a few scattered clouds, trees and hedges tiptoeing away from us, the 5-bar gate with the sweetest, wildest strawberries at its feet, proclaiming, is it Magyar or what? And the next day, off we'd go walking, eyes closed, in a darkness of our own making, to sing its song to the river chuckling over stones to itself. And the next day would be backwards with eyes closed, led along by our own laughter and the odd mystified moo. Farewell, we'd tell the sleepy river. Farewell, leaving it dreaming in a sunset. Shh, shushed our footsteps. Shush is walking backwards. Dónall swore, Ior, he'd part no more. A storm a cree. Shh. Thank you. I always wanted to go back to the Onabui, and I never got there. That's my childhood, and I never see it again. And I thought, come on, I'm a poet, I've got poetic license, so I thought I will bring the river to me. And this is called Welcome, which is what my Auntie Mary used to say, welcome, welcome, welcome. And she'd pick you up and hug you with her big breasts, and you wouldn't get out, there'd be flour everywhere, and it was fantastic. Welcome. There was a knock on the door. I opened it. The river stood there, dripping all over the welcome mat. It had dragged along birds, trees, bits of sky, an old worn summer. Aye, it rippled. Remember me? Sure, I said. You said you would never forget me. How could I said. It grinned like that summer all over again. Come in, I said. It hung up the trees and sky on the hat rack. It sat in the back talking of this and that. Wow, I thought, still listening to the river talk of all the times we'd spent together. Memory sure does play some funny tricks on the mind. Well, it said, I guess I better be going. It put back on the trees and birds, wore the sky at a jaunty angle. You haven't changed a bit, I said, kissing it goodbye. You've got old, it smiled, so very, very old. I laughed. I'm not that little boy I was. It wished me well. The door closed, its footsteps lost in time. I'm very easily influenced. The other big influence on me was my mam. So this is called me Mam's Mind. If you fall off of that wall and break both your legs, don't come running to me. Could never understand my mam's mind and how it worked. One moment she had half a mind to come up there and get me off that wall. Then she was in two minds about whether to tell me to stop. Go ahead, kill yourself, see if I care. I'm warning you, child. If you fall off that wall and kill yourself, I'll personally come up there and murder you myself, so I will. I used to watch the words climbing out of her mouth and fly around the room, looking for a place to land in my mind. Never cared whether she gave out. I just loved everything she said, the music of her and how she made the words behave. I came down and kissed her worry away. I'm sorry, ma'am, I told her, and she cried. This is called Never So Alone as Here. A night scattered with stars, each star so clear in its perfect isolation, you feel you could pluck it from its position, examine it, and put it exactly back. Watch as time and the world came apart, watch as neither match. Each minute, like the bead of prayer, fumbled through fingers in its litany of despair, a rosary of hopelessness, the back of her hand resting on the palm of mind. Stupidly the thought crossing my mind, she made this hand. And now she searches for her dying, seeing it reflecting in our faces, our grief her mirror, each star a tear in the perfection of its isolation. Never so alone as here, as now, the Milky Way spilt across the sky. This is called No Directions. South of sorrow, northwest of pain, I search for you and lose you yet again. I calculate your absence by the stars, and you are near, though you are far. I wander through this wilderness of loss. Is this what loving you has cost? East of loneliness, west of grief, if only for one brief. Your voice echoes inside my head. I see you smile and laugh, pretend that you're not dead. Oh, if I forgot my set list, I don't know where I am going now. Oh, yes. We went to India last January and we launched this book. The book is called The Smell of Purple. Don't know what the Indians thought of that, but hey. Very nice man, Driftwood. Big hi to him. This is called The Smell of Purple. My little girl used to come in. This book is all about my little girl teaching me how to see the world and how to grow alongside her and making the world sparkling anew. It's called The Smell of Purple. She says she can smell yellow. She says she can smell blue, despite not being able to spell either colour. Yellow smells the same as blue, like a wet kitty drying by the fire. Red smells like mummy when she kisses. Her kisses smell different when she kisses you. Then she smells like flames with little orange tips. Purple is my favourite smell. It smells just like a magic spell. I kiss her goodnight like violet, only lighter, with little flecks of purple scattered here and there. Thank you. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Tilly would come into us and she would leap into the bed, and we were just a mountain of male and female flesh all tangled together. And she would pay no attention to that. She would just jump into the bed, and she would land on my wife's left mammary gland, and she would land on my right testicle. I don't know, Zorro, if you have ever had anyone trod upon your testicles, but it's painful. You wake up super quick altogether. That's got nothing to do with this. This is about another time until he's going to bomb into the bed. And we've been at a cocktail party, darling, and we're very, very hungover altogether. Tilly's a little girl, she doesn't know these adult grown-up things, and she's just going to bomb into the bed again anyway. This is called I Feel Pretty. Oh, so pretty. I awake, covered in glorious glitter, smelling strongly of PVA glue, sticking to my cheek, very hung over, and covered in blue, orange, yellow, red feathers. A bubble recently blown perched upon my nose, I still half comatose. Tiny bubbles travel amongst my curls, as through a bigger bubble brightly, nestling neatly over my right eye, I observe my tiny daughter purse her lips and kiss more bubbles into being. Tilly, I force my lips, still frozen in sleep, to somehow speak. What do you do? Even my syntax and sentence structuring is shut. She smiles sweetly. I'm pitying you. My wife and I longed for a baby, and although we had great fun practicing, no baby had yet materialized. We went for test after the test, and this is probably too much information for you, Zorro, but we'd only one test left to see if the fallopian tubes, I told you it was too much information, were clear. And we went for this final test, and it was cancelled, and when it's cancelled, that's cancelled for 6 months. So we went for the next test, it was cancelled again. A year and a half of cancelled fallopian clear tests. And during that time we fell pregnant. I don't know how I did it, but suddenly we were pregnant. You know, so I used the royal we there? Yes, I thought so. She was Finnish, and I used to sleep down by her belly, and I used to sing little snatches of Irish songs and all little fragments of Irish that I hardly knew, and I would stitch them together in a patchwork quilt of sound and make up little things for her like that. And my wife, who was Finnish, used to say, I don't know what you're saying, but that's lovely and it's making me fall asleep. Sorry, that's the kind of effect I have on women. See, I nearly lost her there. It's okay, she's back. The first part of the poem is in Irish. I will translate for you as you go along. The poem is called Oscailga, which means in Irish. Dún the Sula, close your eyes. Cuddle go law ma gro sieve, sleep until day, my gentle love. Cuddle go sov, sleep peacefully, peacefully. Iroic and Gaelic sha is rockig on green shall fee. This moon will rise, this sun will set. Aragus gro I goni, love and care always. Gach iha is gach law is gach iha. Every night, every day, every day, every night. Ma plurin, ma storin, ma murin, my little flower, my little treasure, my little darling. Akanish, but now, cuddle gasov gasiv. Sleep peacefully, gently, gofanya and lay, until the break of day, the misha or the tave, with me at your side. Losing our baby late into the night, holding this little thing that only attempted to be human. Unable to let go, I clasped the fetus tightly in my hand and buried it in the dawn of our local park under a recently planted red rose bush. In grief, flower and baby became one, and night after night I climbed over high railings and even higher stars to talk to her in the dark in Irish, or sing my love is like a red, red rose, or cry. Almost got arrested one night by an Irish cop, drawn to the sound of Irish emerging from the darkness. Guess he let me go because it wouldn't look good on a charge sheet. The defendant was talking and crying to a flower in Irish. Éist, éist, listen, listen. Dinna egin kina, someone is crying in a darkison, in his darkness. Fill, fill a runo, oh, fill a rumo is not imi fillarum a kushla sto, oh, agus chifik tu on glow.
Absolutely spellbinding, Dónall. Thank you so much. Wow.